Hello everyone and welcome back to Disco Elysium episode 10. In the last episode we started talking to Joyce Messier. The conversation is quite long, but it's very entertaining because we are basically trying to be as wacky as we can to kind of throw her off, because she's apparently this masterful negotiator who what did Kim say? Says much without actually saying anything, and I don't know. But I don't really know what I'm doing. But Kim said I should be wacky as possible, and I've been really enjoying doing that. Anyway, today we're gonna continue on with this conversation. But first, let's see what thought we have here.
Hey.
Psst. Who? Me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Okay. Who says that? Again?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Can't argue with that. Yes, we should all stop building love. Love has worked out really well for me. I'm a love winner.
Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted by human beings. Is that right?
How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie.
I said that like once.
Sodomize the landowners. Impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets. Literally murder all human beings, regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Alright, that sounds like me. I haven't said anything like that. I've said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those. Well, I love the down with the bourgeois, I don't know how to pronounce that, eat the rich. I don't agree with sodomize the landowners, nor impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket. Literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. I don't remember those later ones, but I said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those.
Oh yes. The mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Wait, first, what's this communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Failure?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade.
Well, you know what? That sounds fun. Roll up your sleeves and start building communism.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Wait, what? Firing squads? You didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Sure, roll your sleeves up further and breathe in the pristine air. Okay, so now we are apparently becoming a communist. How fun! So what was that? Masovian socioeconomics. Okay, so this is another research thing. Okay. Sounds like a lot of fun. Anyway, now let's continue talking to Joyce here, as we were supposed to do before we started fantasizing about communism. I've got some more questions about reality. Yeah, this is what we were left with. What times are these?
Go ahead, ask me anything. These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth.
The smile of a predator.
Huh?
No doubt what she's got in mind.
Huh. You've got a predatory streak. Ooh, we can say that. Let's say that.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's all a matter of where you get to file your teeth.
What's the big time?
The revolution.
Huh. And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
She looks at you, her gaze sharp. Sounds like evil to me.
On the other hand, maybe you're right.
No. The tiny apes are doing all they can to be better. It's not their fault.
Oh, empathy. Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
Oh.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle?
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
The lieutenant mumbles from behind his notes.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Fucking communists. I don't care about the kings. Tell me one more thing. Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay, the arms center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am. Not just technically, practically as well. I like what I've heard about these people. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes, I am, and also not. I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease.
Oh no.
Which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Zarath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
No way.
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from here? From there?
Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
It's been like this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
What have you been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Ooh, we got... Oh my god, we got 70 experience? Cool. Task update get really low down. Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question.
She cranes
What
her
would
neck.
you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all of this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing.
Oh my god. Should we? I mean, that's gonna be definitely shocking. Well, let's say this because it's the most shocking one. I don't know. This sounds horrible, but whatever. Let's see what happens.
The cold runs down your spine as you say the words, like a small electric charge that seeks grounding.
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning at any cost.
At any cost, until humanity is free and the age of capital is past.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The cold dissipates into your parietal lobe, like a dissolved bullet. All is quiet on the Martinez Inlet.
Capital is past.
Who was that?
Past. That's what De Briever, the leader of the Communards, said, before she got a bullet in her head. Don't get me wrong,
There's sadness in her voice.
capital is finished. But understand this. Its end won't free anyone. It will only lead to more suffering.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
Yeah, that you should say that after every sentence I say.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
Ooh.
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
She nods. Well, that's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain.
Oh.
Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
What causes encephalopathy?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
It's definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly. What this boils down to is, this reality thing is stupid. Blow this joint, grab a bottle, and drain that shit right down your throat.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie, out in the open somewhere.
Okay.
This reality thing is the only game in town. It's probably in your interest not to blow it.
I have somewhere to party right now. Wipe that urge from your mind and get back to reality. We need to figure, let's
She
back to reality.
stares at you, head tilted to the side, with a slightly concerned look on her face.
Okay, so we have these here. So Esprit the corpse, what is, think of something close to you, and it's an even chance doing that. And then we have a conceptualization, what is reach something fundamental, that's very low. Let's try this. It's an even chance.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Oh no. Oh, fine. I want to know what you are. She hums.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Okay.
I am an ultra.
Ultra?
It's sharp.
A liberal. Draw a cross. Wait, what's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
Dios mío. Draw a cross. A liberal.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no? Tell me, now that I've
I don't really know what I am.
Are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her,
Forgive her?
but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
You're a monster. I forgive you. I forgive you, but only because you're charming. I don't care. I'm really tempted to say you're a monster because that's funny. Let's say that.
That's a pity. I hope we can remain collegial despite the fact that I'm a high priestess of the capital. Don't take it personally. It was only business, as they say. Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't, because they lost. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is this? Spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Am I really that awkward? Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin, a symbol of hubris and decay, half submerged in some salty sea.
Are you saying I'm ruined?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
What is the Rue Saint-Lunde?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
Oh, hi. From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes?
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing, but to a child.
Young people who dye their hair funny colours and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating.
I feel cold now. Little bit.
All right. What next?
Well, we have a conceptualization impossible. Very low, 3% chance. What is... But I want to try it.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of sorts, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
Okay, that's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
This last question is so silly, but I want to see what happens. You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy.
What?
Is it?
Wait, why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What nice fabrics.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities.
Yeah, so?
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian.
Oh no.
Barely
Here we
able
go
to tie
again.
your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
Shamed? I'm not ashamed. What is this feeling? Ashamed?
Yes. You're too ashamed to ask this person for money. Too scared to belittle yourself in her eyes. Those half-precious stones of Odinel. Oh God, the lieutenant is here too. Do not dishonor the force.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Say it. Can I have some money? herd of billions. Soviet socioeconomics approve. We have a very high of succeeding, like, I guess, asking this. But yeah, I don't really... Let's see, can we talk to Kim quickly, if he has anything to say?
Yes?
Okay, no. Let me see quickly. Well, we got a new leveling skill point, but I will figure out that soon. Not just yet. So we have Joyce's info on the lynching. There is something she wants to tell you. You just have to present her with your badge to hear it. Or perhaps if you did her a favor, she would waive off the formality. Whatever the case, you need to know what she knows. Yeah, see, that's like, I don't know, like, we can try to find our badge, but I have no idea, like, how long that takes. We have that, like, we have the possibility to negotiate with her, but I don't know how that would go. Maybe I'll try that, I don't know. Well, there's one thing that we could do next, before making any decisions with Joyce, is we could go to the conference hall in the Whirling in Rags, because I think at 4 they like gather there, so it's 4:50 p.m. currently. So maybe let's try doing that actually next. And if that doesn't work out, then maybe come back to Joyce and try something, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.